Those who cannot remember the past will be condemned to repeat it. It's a very attentive quote made by the Spanish philosopher George Santayana. It's to speak about how both a society and an individual will be forever influenced or even controlled by the roots of the past, even if they don't wish for it so. Yet currently, in this day and age, many new generations, even including our own, have started to forget the past and even condemning it as false or even setting a new narrative. How these new generations start making light of these blood and tears shed by many individuals during these tragic times is a very great issue. How many painful events that many generations had faced and overcome have now become nothing more than a footnote in history to many new generations. This is incredibly dangerous, as now an average ordinary American has little knowledge or even empathy on the very recent tragic events, such as the Holocaust, 9/11, and even the Great Depression, which are both great and tragic events, but have greatly influenced in how the modern world now functions. If you personally can't even recall how the Holocaust started, happened, what happened to 6 million Jews during this tragic time as they were sent to the concentration camps, the after effects World War II had on the very world, and how it led to the Cold War and the politics that we now don after it. Yet also our personal history here in the very US, such as Board of the Education versus Brown, where a landmark case in the civil rights movement have now been simply known but not truly understood. It's an ignorance of the masses. It's not a disability. It's not a simple worry. It's a weed, a cancer that we can't simply ignore or heal, but simply remove and eliminate. You can see even the damage today, such as the one caused in Duxbury, Massachusetts, where an educator, a school coach, was using anti-Semitic, basically anti-Jewish, not slurs, but insults, such as using the word Auschwitz in their play calls. This is grave. How ignorant must one be that they use the name of a prison camp, which led to the slaughter of millions, hundreds of people, and simply use it as an audio call out in a football game. This has reached the bottom line, and we have to get back on our feet and straighten up the act, not solely for ourselves, but for the future generations. The newer and younger generations need to not solely know, but understand their history. How their very history has shaped and improved, have progressed the modern world. Yet also how it is a stigma and that we should not forget it and learn from it. We as society have grown ignorant on the importance of our past and our history. As stated by Harold Brackman on algerminer.com, it was proven in a recent study in a Holocaust Remembrance Day that modern 2/3 of millennials simply did not even know what Auschwitz is, and 23% did not know what the Holocaust was. This is an issue that is rooted both in our social duties and in our educational system in school. We may be taught and learn about these events, but we never truly discussed the severities these events had and truly the influence they had on the modern world. The greatest issue, truly, this all is ignorance. Ignorance that this isn't important. Ignorance that this isn't an issue anymore. Ignorance that we put too much faith in our education system and not in our very selves in teaching these things sometimes. As supported by Max Boot on the Washington Post, much of American history in class study today has lost much respect. And even now, most American students very rarely take as a major career or a proper class to study. In colleges, it's only required 1 year of any type of history in America to be required for graduation. This doesn't even mean that you'd even properly learn of key events in your history solely of one time period, which is wrong. Even today, I truly know that the education I received might have been knowledgeable, but it wasn't truly wise. We are taught as children about how Native Americans were called Indians instead of truly called, which is Native Americans. How Christopher Columbus was the first to discover North America when he truly wasn't. Another ignorance, well, not truly of their fault and responsibility, is in our peers and our parents and guardians. They truly believe the education should truly teach of these events. Even through, they have the same responsibility to teach us as well. A teacher will solely serve to educate and bring forth knowledge. It's family that sets up the values that we have. And it's key for them to teach these and speak of these events, as they may have lived them as well. I personally remember how I asked about why are we so religious in my own family, and learned that my great-grandfather was a Catholic supporter in the Guerra de Cristianos, or the War of the Christian. It was a war between theocracy and democracy, where the Catholic Church wished to gain power in Mexico, and the state didn't wish to become a theocracy. A very tragic and sad tale, where I learned my grandfather lost siblings, and my great-grandfather lost his own brother in it. These issues aren't going to fix themselves and aren't going to be eliminated. This isn't something we can cover up or simply expect to be fixed in a few days or even years. It will take a generation to truly fix this. We should start pushing that our government truly puts and ensures that these values are respected and learned in our education system. We cannot allow ignorance to spread and control our very lives. And the same with you. You should take it upon yourself to truly learn on these topics. Maybe it may not help today, maybe not tomorrow, but what you teach your kids maybe today or maybe in the future will influence greatly in how they will live their lives in the tomorrow. Thank you.